Hello, welcome to the Q&A for the Green Film Festival of San Francisco 2024. This is the Q&A for the shorts program Eco Horror Shorts, part of the Green Film Festival 2024. We're very lucky to have a couple filmmakers with us here today. I'm Jason Wolos, one of the programmers, and we have Sophia and Hannah. Sophia and Hannah, please introduce yourselves. Sophia, you start, please.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sophia Bierend, and I am the writer and director of the short The Taster.
Excellent, well done. Hello, Hannah.
Hi, my name is Hannah Bang. I'm a filmmaker based in LA, and I'm the director of the short film Expected.
The Expected. Wonderful films, very powerful films. Hannah, since we're on you, how did it all begin? Why did you make this film?
So the film was actually made as part of a program called Project Involve, run by Film Independent. It's a program meant to bring different filmmakers together. And I was there as a director, and we got paired up with an amazing writer. His name is Justin Amori, and he knew I loved horror. I'm a big fan of horror. And we were just talking about different ideas he had, and he wrote the film, which is about, like, I guess, anxiety about the future. That is sort of specific to our generation, and when it comes to all the global, like, environmental issues.
So you were part of an incubator, a retreat, or a camp, or what for Film
It's a
Independent?
program. It's like kind of like an incubator, yeah.
Great. And then
Yeah.
you got paired with him, and this is the film you guys made as part of that program.
Yeah, he had the idea and he wrote the script, and I thought it was great. And
Yeah. And
I
was
shared
he
a lot of
happy?
pictures. Huh?
Was he happy with your job with your?
I think so. I mean, we had challenges like any other production, but I think, yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
we'll talk about those maybe in a moment. And Sophia, how did the taster come about?
I went to an art exhibition where you could see a really old woman eating soup, like in a loop. And afterwards, there was just a sentence that she was the only taster girl that tasted food for Adolf Hitler who survived. And then later on, I didn't know that she existed. I read a few interviews. She gave them shortly before she died because she never wanted anyone to know that she kind of worked for the Nazis. And then she said how it was to live in this area and in this big house where the Nazis sometimes stayed in. And then she described that she never met actually Adolf Hitler. She just played with his dogs in the backyard. And then I thought, okay, maybe it has to be like this, that you don't meet eye to eye. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe what would happen if they would actually meet and talk with each other? Like,
Yeah, very imaginative, very clever, very powerful too. Um, how you were the writer as well, right? How was your writing process? How did that go for you?
we also were part of a program actually. It's a program that's taking place in France, and they invite many film students from different schools in Europe to think about war. Very delightful. And there you get the opportunity to create together, like have a conversations with other writers from and directors from other countries. And I feel like it's an idea to get all of us together and think about what it is to like live in Europe and maybe in the future. And this is where the script was developed. So I had wonderful input and help from my colleagues from the other states.
Fantastic. What was the name of that program?
War on Screen.
On screen. Well, you know, filmmaking is a collaborative process, right? So it sounds like perfect programs to make a film in. What what challenges do you encounter, Sophia? Was it hard? How long did it take you? Stuff like that.
It was very hard to make it because we had COVID. I'm
Uh,
not sure Anna, if you also had the problem during production, but we were supposed to shoot in Romania, and we already did location scouting and casting down there. And then COVID happened, and our school totally shut down. So it was like a long time before we were allowed to shoot again, and then we were not allowed to travel. So we had to reschedule and fly our actors in, and it's much more expensive. And we had to find more funding and yada yada yada. And then we made
yeah, yeah.
and we
All the
started in
filmmaking
Germany.
challenges, yeah. On top of that, COVID. So how long was the whole filmmaking process?
Oh, I think from the moment we got funding till the day we start shooting, I think it was 1.5 years.
Oh, that's reasonable considering your challenges. Actually, that's kind of normal. Uh, Hannah, how about you? Any memorable challenges and how long it take you?
Our we couldn't really push our shooting days, so we were stuck, but I had the same, of course, COVID challenges, and we lost a few of our crew members. And actually, the morning of my shoot, I found out that our DP had COVID.
Uh, the
So
first day.
yeah,
Oh,
so she had to sit in a car like a block away and talk to us through the walkie, but she's still able to, communicate with us and have input, but it was just very,
wow.
we had to, my producer, Jerwang, her husband's a DP. So we called him up like the morning of and asked him if he could come on set. And like yeah,
Wow. That
yeah,
was a nice little lucky break to have a producer DP
exactly. Very
jump
good.
in. Yeah. And how long did it take you from start to finish?
Um, Start to finish, I don't want to say
In general.
6 months, maybe.
Oh, wow. That's fast.
Yeah.
And so and did your writer feel you captured what you intended to set out to capture, to create? Did
I
you
think so. I hope so. Yeah.
what was your reaction when you saw the finished film?
My reaction or
Yeah.
his?
Yeah, or
Um,
both. Yeah, sure. Is he there? He can join us if he
oh
wants.
no, he's sorry. I thought you
Uh,
meant I thought
Were you satisfied with your result? Did you capture the
yeah,
emotion and communicate the message or whatever it was you wanted to do?
I think so with the tools that we had. Yes.
Yeah. And Sophia, same question to you. Did you execute your vision? Did you create, bring to life the imagination that you had at the beginning?
Um, I mean, I'm not sure how Hannah, how you're feeling about it, but I feel like all the time when you step behind the camera, first day of shooting, it looks everything totally different, at least for me. It's like, okay, this is what it's gonna be like. So, but I love the process because I feel like it's not me, not my idea. And even if you talk with people in the process, you always feel like, yeah, you're talking about the same thing, and then it's just different. But I love it that it's different because it's sometimes even better than I thought. So I hope that I captured the inner core and the feeling. And
Well, do you think you did? And like you said, I'm a filmmaker too. So yeah, the movie just starts to become its own thing, and it's gonna you're kind of facilitating this thing that wants to be the movie that wants to happen. It wants to make itself happen, right? Do you think it became better than you intended, or you realized what it was supposed to be?
I think that's a hard question to answer because I'm very proud of the film, and I feel like sometimes when I'm watching it, because you see it many times,
Right.
it sometimes it still gets me. Like I feel like I'm emotionally involved, and I don't look for the technical stuff or the mistakes
Yeah.
I make. And I'm always very proud when I feel like I can get lost in my own movie. But of course, it's hard for me to feel like is this because I want to make people feel something. I cannot speak for everyone if they feel what I.
Well, you made us feel something, and on that note, that's a success. I mean, especially as a filmmaker yourself, and you still get an emotional reaction to your own film footage that you've watched
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of times, and you're still being
Sometimes.
moved. I mean, that's success. Well done, right? Yeah, right. Definitely pat yourself on the back. Just to complete a film, let
Yeah.
Yeah.
alone to be moved. And both your films moved us, so that's why I asked. Like, did you capture what you wanted to convey, or even create something better than what you imagined? And a lot of times that happens in filmmaking. And both yours are very visually powerful, and they stick with you. Um, for example, I both remember in all these films in this program, and yours as well, kind of sparring use of sound and music. Right, not much music, not much sound. right? Hannah, you didn't have much sound, did you? Much,
We had a bit of sound.
I mean, not sound, but it's like it's very deliberately moody, right?
There's actually not that much dialogue.
Right. That's okay. That's what I'm remembering. Again,
Yeah,
remember, I haven't watched these in 5, 6 months, but I remember like
no, for
it
sure.
was cleverly and powerfully minimal.
Very sparse dialogue, just ambience and music and sound effects. There were a bit of, yeah.
Yeah. And Sophia, how about you? I mean, yeah, you had dialogue and stuff like that, but it was good use of sound when needed, music when needed, sound effects.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I mean, we had some music in it, and I feel like I asked my composer, who was very talented, and he, in the first try, he tried to do a bit more on like exciting thriller horror-y, and I said like it's already like has a very dark feeling to it, and I said like take a little bit back from it, so we tried to find like a middle way.
Right.
Uh, yeah.
A lot of times in independent films, you just see overuse of these things, where they're heavy-handed and they don't have the touch, and that's why those stood out. That kind of aspect of the film stood out. Um, and so, what do you think you want people to take? What kind of message you want audiences to take from this, or just an emotional response, simple emotional response? Do you want audiences to feel? Sophia, the camera's on you. Why don't you answer this question?
Mm, I mean, I'm writing mostly stories about people who are brave and do something that I'm not sure I would do if I would be in the same position.
Right.
So they don't stop fighting for the right thing. Stay human against all odds.
Right on, right on. I mean, sometimes filmmakers just simply want to make entertainment, right? But that is a powerful statement that you just said, for sure, especially this day and age. Keep fighting for what you believe is right. Hannah, is there an audience reaction you're hoping people take away? Emotional response?
I guess I think the best thing the film could be is maybe like a conversation starter about the fears that we have and what we can do about it. Because I think it's in most people, if not everyone, in this generation. But I think sometimes we can feel helpless because the problem seems so big. But
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
talking about it is a first step.
For sure, yeah, definitely. The conversation needs to be daily now, I think. More frequent, for sure. So, have you guys made films before this? Is this your first film since you're in these incubator programs or these filmmaking programs? First film, Hannah?
No, no.
Well, how many films? Which film is this?
The I went to a film school where I made a bunch of exercises,
Got it.
smaller.
So, what I'm getting to, what did you learn anything? Even though you may have made more films or other exercises, did you learn anything new about yourself, about filmmaking?
Um, for sure, I it was the first time I was working with prosthetics. Um, that was really fun. I think it's also one of the first times that I'm working with someone else's writing. And that was a different approach. I learned that I had to sort of um, dig into someone else's brain, which was new for me. But I think overall,
So come on, any anecdotes, any interesting, exciting moments where you and the writer, like, we're good. I don't want it that way. Anything fun?
um,
Any disagreements or spats, or it was all
it
perfect?
no, it's definitely not. Okay, so
Come on,
there's a
I want some meat here. I want some juice.
I there are only like technical difficulties.
Uh,
Like we learned that the garage where we were supposed to fit I guess this is not a spoiler. I don't know. Stop me if I'm.
People have already watched the film if they're watching this.
Oh, okay. So there's a hole in the wall, and we were supposed to build it, but we realized like also on the morning of like it doesn't fit the
No.
whole wall that we're building. So while I was directing actors, inside the house, we were trying to basically remake this the whole
Yeah.
thing. So it was a lot of like really kind of the whole team coming together, like our makeup artists coming together. And
Nice.
like, what if we just like put makeup, like a lot of teamwork and a
That's
lot of
great.
like fast last
Great.
minute decisions.
Yeah.
So
You, although you're fretting like time's ticking and you're like, oh, yeah, well,
yeah.
good. Yeah, done. Sophia, have you learned anything about history, filmmaking yourself?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
like
the
I watching, I learned that there was a taster. It's like just that fact alone.
Yeah,
Besides,
that's really cool.
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I think
Wait, let me interrupt because you're inspiring me. So you're in this museum, art
yes.
installation, and you saw this, and then did the light bulb go off instantly? Like, here's an idea for a movie, or did it kind of, you know,
I mean,
just
yeah.
kind of bloom?
I mean, it took some time to develop because I feel like a few months before, or maybe years, I met a guy who was working as an editor, and he was working in LA, and he described that Michael Bay came to him to edit Transformers, I don't know, 3 or whatever number.
Wow.
And Michael Bay was like letting scenes be cut by different studios. And then he would come and say, this is the best version. I want to go with this one. And he described that every time Michael Bay came into the office, he was told not to look Michael Bay in the eyes because he's getting angry, like easily.
Wow. Wow.
So, and then he was like really afraid, like then he was sitting right next to him, but he was not able like to look at him. And I felt like maybe Michael Bay is so angry because no one ever looks at him. And I felt like, being in a position of a lot of power and people being scared of you, that makes you very lonely. I mean, thinking about so many men in power and in charge, where you think like, I don't know, who are they talking to? And I thought, this combination of I can really identify with this woman, she's put in a position of very little power and she has to find her way through. But I also found some sympathy for this, like, probably very lonely guy. But,
Fascinating.
nobody wants to look at him. Nobody wants to have an interaction with him because maybe he explodes. Maybe, like, understandably, nobody wants,
Yeah,
having.
yeah. That's fascinating. Well, we just have time for one more question. Anything you two want to add for your fans out there, people that watch your movie? Hannah, you want to say any parting words?
Um, please enjoy the film.
Well,
And
they already did, I'm sure, and they will.
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Um, I
What's next?
what's next? I'm working on a feature script, also sort of a horror drama. So yeah,
Okay, you just inspired me for another question. Why wasn't this a feature film? Like, why didn't you make a feature film? I mean, did the material just say this only has to be a short, or why didn't you say I want to be why didn't you make a feature film? You weren't ready, or you had to do this first?
well, because it was part of the incubator and
I see. Okay.
yeah.
So just with the limitations, the resources, that's what it called for. Okay, that's understandable. Shorts are great. We love shorts here at Green Film Festival, Indie Fest.
Okay, so I'll be back with my other horror feature.
Right on.
So
Please do. We
stay
can't
tuned
wait.
for a few years and then I'll come back and screen that one.
Right on. Can't wait. And Sophia, any parting words? No. First, why a short film? I mean, just the material. This thing said, "I want it to be a short film." It probably could have been, stretched out into a feature.
Yeah, but I think it's also a question of money.
True,
Yeah.
true, true, true. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but it was also the same situation, I think, as Hannah's because we got funding for a short and it was always meant to be a short.
Right.
And I'm also trying to make it into a feature.
Good.
So,
Excellent. We can't wait. We can't wait.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
you think also there's so many feature films, maybe especially in Hollywood, that they should just be short films. It's like they're just too long. It's like this is not a feature film. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But and any parting words for you, Sophie? Anything you want to add that I didn't ask?
Mm, no, I'm just grateful that you guys been in the audience and watched our movies. And I'm also very happy that Hannah is with me on this interview
Yeah.
because like more and more women are like conquering this genre because normally like it's more of a guy's field. So
Right on. Indeed, yeah. Go women. Go female filmmakers. For sure. Well, we are proud of you two and loved your films. Thank you for submitting to the San Francisco Green Film Festival, and congratulations. Not only on getting in our film festival, but just making a movie. It's hard. So,
yeah,
Mason.
all right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. That was another Q&A for the San Francisco Green Film Festival 2024. Check out more great films at sfindiefest.com. Bye, everybody. Stop.